How's it going, guys? Saivo here. One of the few remaining live guys that I didn't really get the chance to do is a Rentus hard mode one. So today I decided to do it because 5.0 is coming and I really wanted to cover all the relevant dungeons in a live guide for you guys. If you want to do Rentus hard mode, you need to take a rift. There are some really cool rifts. This one in Mura, when it's up, it gets you close to the Rentus hard mode entrance. Temple of Sunset is a good rift for you to take. So Rentus hard mode entrance is always in the opposing faction's land. But the best rift is this invasion rift that comes up occasionally. For example, if you're an Asmodean, it's in Mura. Now, if you take the invasion rift like I did now, you're gonna see that it lands you right in front of Rentus base. So this is the closest you can ever be. It's right here. Basically, it's a glide away, and yeah, you're just gonna be there. So having that said, this is a totally random group from Looking for Group. I do not know what to expect. Obviously, I'm expecting the worst because random groups are just horrible, and I am with the wrong weapon at the moment. Where is my weapon? Okay, this is a good one. So yeah, this is gonna be a fun one for you guys. I really hope I can show you everything there is to show in Rentus hard mode because there is nothing special. The instance is really easy, but there are some things that some quality of life things, right, that will make your runs faster and more efficient. Let's say it like that, yeah. Now let's quickly go and meet our fellow group members, which I do not know where they are. I think they're here. Okay. There's lots of PvP when you go in prime time. So when you go to Rentus hard mode in a very very solid hour, maybe in the afternoon, in the evening, there is lots of PvP going. So that kind of spices up the runs. Sadly, there's not much pre-mates doing Rentus hard mode, so it's always gonna be fun in PvP for you guys if you're doing Rentus hard mode because Ilios are camping this freaking spot like crazy. Of course, some of the Asmodeans do as well, but very few Asmodeans are camping it compared to the Ilios, at least on our server Dela. So it's pretty fun to do Rentus hard mode, not only because of the PvE, but also because of the PvP while getting there. Sometimes it's frustrating, of course, but most of the times it's really cool because you get to do some PvP in front of the dungeon, on the way to the dungeon, etc., etc. Right. So let's see if we can gather up, and then we're gonna start heading to the dungeon. Right, so finally we got going. Let's quickly check if there's any Ilios. There's one that is running away. It's really important, guys, to stick together as a group. That is really important for you to do because sometimes assassins stay here in hide, rangers stay here in hide. Once I even saw Spirit Master in hide, and we didn't have any ranger or any stealth detection, so he just kind of feared us all, and we killed him. But it's inconvenient if you get feared, if some people get feared right before entering. What you can do though, just to be safe, go behind the teleporter, click the thing, and then just wait. Now, if Ilios attack you, or if the opposing faction attacks you while you're in this screen, you can always still click enter, and then you're gonna enter even if you're being attacked. So it doesn't cancel this particular screen. That's why it's really good to always be prepared before entering dungeon that's in the opposing faction's land, any dungeon for that matter. Once you enter the dungeon, guys, you're going to notice that there are some NPCs here. Now, this is really important because you can do two things here. There are these initial mobs that you actually do not need to kill. You just have to, you can be any class, doesn't matter. You just have to bring all of these mobs to those NPCs. Now, there are two ways that you can do this. First option is that you bring all of these mobs there, yeah, and then you die, and then the mobs stay there on the NPCs. It is really important for your group members to wait on the side so they don't aggro, but there is another option. The second option would be you bring the mobs here, the NPCs will aggro them, and then you reset them by jumping on this particular rock. Now, the mobs will reset, yeah, and they will go back to their position, but the NPCs will follow them. So what's going to happen is that instead of me dying, maybe you have soul sickness, or maybe you just don't want to die because you have DP, then the NPCs are going to go to the mobs, and then the mobs are going to re-aggro on the NPCs even if they have been reset. So after each mob has their desired NPC to go to, as you can see, these NPCs will last forever, then you can just continue. Now, how random groups do this is they put a number on each of our each of our heads, and then that number symbolizes the cannons. So basically here there are 6 cannons: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is how they number them. This is cannon number 1, this is 3, this is 4, and this is 6. So since I have 6, I'm just gonna quickly rush to the end. If you want to be super efficient in this stage, just put classes that have mobility skills or sprints or stuff like that. Put them on the end cannons instead of on the first ones. You target this captain and you have 2 skills as a cannon. You use the first skill only. Be careful not to press the second skill, because that will get you out of the cannon. Yeah, it will unmount you, so that's not what we want. What we do want though is this Captain Xasta or Xasta in dragon form. We want to get him under 50%. Now I can just easily exit my cannon, but I'm just gonna shoot one more time and then exit. Once he's under 50%, then you're safe, you're good to go. What happens is, if you DPS Xasta with the cannons, then when he goes there as a dragon, he's gonna lose the dragon form and he's gonna just be in the human form. If you fail to do to kill his dragon, to get his dragon under 50%, then this guy is gonna be in a dragon form, and then you're gonna first have to kill the dragon and then kill him. One other very important thing is the fact that if Xasta if Xasta's dragon is taken under 50% HP, then you're gonna get at the end a box. Now, this particular box can drop you a stigma bag. This particular box can drop you an additional chest with that can eventually give you the gear. So it's really important to get the dragon and to do the cannon part right. It is really important for you guys to, when the leader says go, you just go, you take your number and you start spamming that first skill until you cannot spam it anymore. It can be done with 5 people if everyone goes, inside the cannon at the same time and starts doing his thing. But 6 people is really safe. So Rentus hard mode can be done with 5 people, even the cannon part. Now 4 people doing the cannon part, I do not think that's possible. But five people is a really it's harder, but it's still a very doable chant. Yeah. Each boss drops one of those bags, and Xasta drops also the key. You can roll for the key or just let the leader have it, and then at the end you're gonna open the box. Here is another important part, another bunch of mobs. Usually you kind of have to wait until everyone loots, especially the fact that I know that one of the bards is kind of a slowpoke. You take all these mobs and you can reset them again. So this is an efficient way of running Rentus hard mode. You reset them by going here behind the boxes, and the other group members can just pass. Even this cleric that's a bit of a slowpoke, and then just continue. Now the bag that each boss drops is this one that gives you battle medallions. Yeah, 2 battle medallions per bag. This is another part in which there are just 2 mini bosses basically, and we have another mob. Let's see if we can aggro this guy as well. These mobs are really important for you not to let alive very long, because they do go berserk, and if they do go berserk, then it's gonna be a bit of a problem because they start hitting really, really fast. So the faster you kill these mobs, the better it is for your groups, in case you have some of them aggro. This guy drops another rider as well, so yeah. In the next stage, after this is done and after you have looted, there's going to be another part in which you can rush, just to be further even more efficient in terms of time wasted here. Before while I'm rushing the next part and looting the bosses, I will tell you guys the reasons why you should be doing Rentus hard mode, or Lost Rentus, or whatever you want to call it. The reasons, there's actually 2 reasons. Now, number 1 reason, and the reason why 99% of the people are still doing Rentus hard mode, is because of the easy 20-30 million. If you're lucky, you can even get 40 million per run from Rentus. Why? Because you get gear drops. Now if you kill the last boss, you automatically guaranteed get 1 drop. It can be an eternal or it can be a mythical drop. It doesn't matter, you can extract it and you can still get a level 5. Now that's 1 drop. The box, if you do the cannon part right, that box gives you the chance to get another chest that can contain another mythical drop. So that if extracted and if it gives you a level 5, that's another 10 million, that's already 20. Now, other drops are also present in the dungeon. Eternal drops from all of these bosses have a chance to drop you an eternal. So if you get one other eternal at least, you can disenchant it, you can get another level 5, and let me just answer that. I will do this. You can get another level 5, and that's already 30 million. Besides that, you can get a stigma bag, and if you get a stigma for your class, then you can sell that one, or you can just use it yourself. But generally you can sell it because it's already been a year of content. You should have all the vision stigmas in order. So that's another reason why you should be doing that Rentus hard mode, because it's really good money. It's at least 20 million, if not more, if you're lucky. Other things that you get, not really. Battle medallions cannot be sold, but they're still really nice to have. I'm not gonna show you the whole this whole boss fight. Before I tell you about this boss, I need to tell you that in the previous part where I just rushed, there was a possibility for me to jump on those boxes. Then actually I need to be careful here to kill the oil barrels. I could have jumped on those boxes, and then from those boxes I could have jumped on the first rock here, the little one. Then from the first rock I could have jumped the second rock, and from the second rock I would have jumped here, yeah. And then here all the mobs that were chasing me would have been reset. So that's a thing you can do. I'm really not a master in rushing and resetting these mobs, because I didn't really used to do it a lot. I preferred just killing them, because I always used to play this with really high DPS, at least at the beginning when it came out, or when I was farming my set on Templar. So I didn't really need to kill all those mobs. They were just basically two AoEs from sorcerers away from death, so that's not important. But you can definitely reset them if you master jumping on here, then there, and then one more time here. It is really important for you to know that jumping here resets the mobs. And I failed to do this part, right? Fucking shit. Jumping here only resets the mobs, and here. If you stay here, or if you stay just on the box, then it won't reset the mobs for you. So you have to get used to jumping there. Now, really quickly, this boss. This boss is really simple. You cannot really damage him with magical skills. You cannot really damage with with physical skills. So someone that either takes aggro of the boss by healing, or just does some magic damage and has some passive enmity boost, like a freaking Aether Tech, which is perfect for the job. One of these classes can easily do this boss, and I think I failed again. Holy shit, these random people are gonna be so angry. Anyway, so this boss, you do it like this. You just kite him around, and you just get healed, or if you're a cleric, you just heal yourself until two barrels spawn. The two barrels can spawn in one of the random four corners of the room, and then what you need to do afterwards is take the boss to the barrels, kill the barrels. The boss is gonna get a debuff from the oil spill on the ground, and then those mini Kuhra bombs that spawn from all corners of the room are gonna do a lot more damage to the boss than they would do if the boss wouldn't have the debuff. So now I did it right. It's very simple to do. You can just DPS the barrels AoE. There are like 2 hits, and yeah, just make the boss get the debuff. Don't move very far away even in this phase, because sometimes the boss does take 2 steps away from where he's initially at now. So if I would be here and he would take 2 steps away, he would probably be too far away from the oil spills. So that's the whole mechanic. I'm not going to show you guys the rest of the fight because it's really simple. At the end of the boss fight, guys, of course, if the boss is this much HP, you can definitely not wait for the barrels and just have your magic DPS classes take him down. There's no need to keep waiting for those barrels to spawn, even if the boss is like 10%. You loot your things. This chest can also drop you eternal gear, so that's another thing that you could disenchant if it's your turn to get, or if you just do free for all and it's random who gets. This is another section in which you can actually reset the mobs again, so there's no need to kill these either. Basically, you can reset every single pack of trash in this dungeon and make the run really fast. You reset everything here by jumping on this box here. If I would be here, then the mobs would still be able to attack me. Yeah. Now, as you can see, they're coming here and they're attacking me. Now, if I move to the edge of this box, then there's nothing gonna happen to me. This Archmagus is gonna reset as well, but as you can see, he has a ginormous aggro range. So if I will just simply come and sit here, then even when he's gonna be reset, I'm still gonna be in his aggro range. We just take him, and that's about it. Now I hope our friend here from looking for a group is gonna reset his mobs as well. Some people do not know how to reset mobs, so if you're tanking, you have to pay attention to that. Can be done with a chanter healing, can be done with a bard healing, as long as your group has a well, this guy obviously didn't know. It doesn't matter. Even if it's like this, then hopefully some other people that do know, and you can just reset them. Or if you don't want to reset them, you can just kill them. They're really easy to kill. And sometimes when you see that people are not resetting them, it's actually even better to kill them just to help out, instead of just letting that poor clueless guy die, and you know, you're just sitting there on the box laughing at him. So yeah, sometimes it's cool to help your group up. So as I was saying, it can be done with really any composition. People do prefer to have a class that can dispel the last boss, and by that I mean this motherfucker here, Vasharti. If you don't have a class that can dispel, which is a bard or a spirit master, then you will have to have a strong healer, because you will take damage if the boss is not dispelled. I'm going to show you that mechanic during the boss fight. There is one mechanic during this boss fight which I will not be able to show you, and it's actually a very important one and a very little known one. I used to do it when I did Rentus hard mode at the beginning with my guildies, with my close friends, but now I don't do it anymore due to the fact that they're not that interested in doing it, and I'm basically doing this with the randoms just to meet people, etc, etc. I'm gonna show you, this is one of the boss's mechanics, an AoE. I have dodged this. As an Aether tech, for example, you can dodge 1 in 2 AoEs. He's gonna do another one for which my evade is not gonna be on cooldown. Ad spawn, this red one is an ad that can be only killed with magical attacks. The blue one is an ad that can be killed with physical attacks, because as you can see, as hard as I'm trying, I only do 1 damage as a magical DPS. So you have to have, in this case, speaking about composition, you have to have physical DPSs as well. Even if they are a chanter and a templar, they can still put down that ad quite fast. Now, these ads, they drain your mana, so it's not cool at all to have them running around. It's not cool at all to run this dungeon without a physical DPS, not because you won't be able to make it, but because your healer is going to take all the aggro, and he's going to be drained of mana, or he's going to have to do a monumental job in order to keep kiting those ads until they're killed. Now, in this particular scenario, we are actually running without a physical DPS, so you're gonna see what this means. This blue ad is gonna keep coming, and nobody's gonna be able to kill it, and there's gonna be even more ads incoming. In any case, as for tanking, these are the buffs that the boss get. He can either get a blue buff, or he can either get a red buff. Now, a red buff is a buff that you need to have. If the boss has a red buff, then you also have to have this red buff, yeah, on yourself, in order to take reduced damage, not no damage at all, but reduced damage from attacking the boss. Basically, you are reflecting the damage that you do to the boss because of his buff, and if you do not have the red buff when he has the red buff, then you're gonna have all of your damage reflected back. So that's very inconvenient, and if you do not have a dispel, then the process would be like, you tank him in the red cauldron or wherever you want. If he has the red buff, you go to the red cauldron. If he has the blue buff, you're gonna go to the blue cauldron, and so on and so forth. And that you need to do that not only as a tank, but also as a DPS. So if you're DPSing as well, you also need to go to take the buffs from the cauldrons if you do not have a class that can dispel. If you have one, we have, for example, two bards. It's not going to be a problem, the buffs on the boss. Now, these ads, these blue ones, may be a problem, even though we have 2 bards so they can fill up their mana and stuff. Fire column, this is the AoE around the boss. I think it's 6 meters around him, so you have to be away from that. The red ad, I will tell you why as an Aether tech I tank in the red cauldron, because the red ad always spawns from the red cauldron. So that means that me as an Aether tech, it is super efficient for me to be here and pick up that ad right when it spawns, yeah? Instead of being somewhere else in the room, the ad spawns at the red cauldron, and since I'm a magical DPS, I can just kill it right away instead of moving from the blue cauldron to the red cauldron to help with the ad, etc, etc. So it is a more efficient way of tanking if you're an Aether tech. Now if you're a Templar, if I would, when I was tanking as a Templar here, I always used to tank in the blue cauldron because Templar is a physical DPS, and I used to take the blue ad on me right away when it spawned. So it's just efficiency. Also another thing that's efficient is because if you tank in one of the cauldrons, not only you can take your specific ad depending on what kind of a tank you are, magical or physical, but you can also make the boss have to run all the way to the middle and then start doing his shit and put his shield, uh, compared to if you're tanking him here, yeah, he's really close to the middle, so he's just gonna do 2 steps and then start putting his shield. Now if you're tanking him in one of the cauldrons, he's gonna have to walk a long way to the middle and then start doing the thing. So it's all about efficiency. That's what I think, at least when I'm tanking. If I would be a Templar, I would tank in the blue cauldron. Some people were telling me once that, hey robot, why don't you tank somewhere else? Why in the cauldrons? You don't trust our dispeller? So, people get all sorts of crazy ideas, but no, that's not the reason. The reason is efficiency at its best. After you kill, this is crazy actually. It's already 4 blue ads in the room. This is crazy that this random group from looking for group was actually able to pull this off. This is the AoE. There's no need to take this AoE if you have 4 blue ads in the room, guys. There's no need to make the cleric's life even harder than it already is. So try to avoid as much as possible. Try to dodge. The boss is gonna die during before he gets another shield, so that's nice. This is another AoE. As you saw, the first one I avoided, but the second one I didn't have cooldown because he does it more often than that. Since we have an event also, you get this, but you get the supplies, you get the Varshati equipments chest. Someone's gonna open the box from the key with the key from Xasta, and you can also deliver your quest, which gives you another bag of those actually it doesn't give bag, it just gives you 5 battle medallions. So battle medallions are cool because you can exchange them for supplements and eventually abyss points. In some rare occasions, actually it happens pretty often, like in this fucked up run where the box didn't give you anything. So it can happen that the box gives you Kina only. It can happen that it gives you an equipment box and one of the supply boxes. And it can also happen in very rare cases that it gives you also a stigma bag on top of everything else. So that's pretty cool. Let me show you guys. First of all, I'm going to recall. And I'm going to say thank you to these people. Very nice. Leave the group. And then I will show you guys what you get from the dungeon. This supplies gives you automatically either a level 4 or a level 5. So on top of the 2 boxes that you could have gotten, yeah, you can get automatically another level 5 or a level 4. So let's see what I get. Just a random box. I'm unlucky as well, but I did get a level 5, yeah. So I got a level 5 just from that. Now I'm gonna open this Vashati's chest and I'm gonna get an Eternal. This Eternal, I'm gonna choose it and I'm gonna disenchant it. Now, if I get lucky, then I'm gonna get another level 5. If I'm unlucky, then I'm gonna get a level 4, but I'm gonna still show you guys so you can better understand. Actually, I got a level 3. One level 3. This is super unlucky. Usually you get level 4 or level 5. And that's about it. Battle medallions, 4 or 5 of them. 5 bags, depending how many bosses you loot. Sometimes I forget to loot, so yeah. Battle medallions are also cool. This was one of the most unluckiest run you can ever get, because I only got 1 level 5. I got an Eternal from the equipment box, and I didn't even get 2 equipment boxes. And we also had very few drops on Eternals, but most of the times you get a lot more than this. So it's really worth doing it. And I didn't even mention the second reason and most important. Rentus hard mode gear 6 slotted is the best tanking gear currently in the history of AION because of the ancient mana stone slot. So that's the second reason that you should be doing this Rentus hard mode. In the meantime, guys, I wish you lots of love. I wish you lots of fun. I hope you do Rentus hard mode, and hope to see you soon.